Testing. Testing 1, 2. Good? Great. Thank you. I'm going to give us a minute here. Good evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is a public hearing. Sue, would you please give the roll call?
William Baumgart.
Here.
Corey Montiel.
Here.
Greg Dietz.
Here.
Amanda Roddy.
Here.
Kellen Piasek. Here. Patrick McCaffrey.
Here.
Anthony Zenobia.
Here.
Karen Reinacek. Here. Joseph Como.
Thank you. Mr. Como is excused this evening. Tonight we are going to start by giving Darren Clark the opportunity to provide a brief summary of the 2021-2022 preliminary budget. After that, we will open up the meeting for public input. Mr. Clark.
Yes, thank you. The district's annual budget development process began last November and will continue until late October, when the Board of Education takes action on the final budget and tax levy. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide an opportunity for members of our school community to provide input in the development of the final 21-22 district budget. The preliminary budget has been published in the Waukesha Freeman with copies available in the district business office located in the Lindholm Administrative Building at 222 Maple, where we're sitting now, and on the district's website, and also in board docs if you pursue or look up the agenda for tonight's hearing. The final equalization aid and tax rate cannot be calculated until the end of October after the third Friday of September pupil count is conducted. Equalized property valuations are set by the state of Wisconsin on October 1st, and the amount of equalization aid and voucher program participation levels are certified by the Department of Public Instruction on October 15th. Following assumptions have been made to determine a preliminary budget, tax levy, and tax rate. District Revenue Limit Authority is based on an increase of 71 resident students. That increase, we normally would have budgeted a decrease, but because last year in COVID, the numbers were artificially low, we're actually expecting a small bounce back in resident enrollment. The level of equalization aid is projected to decrease by 1.21%. Again, we'll get the final number in mid-October. A 2% increase in equalized property valuation has been made. The preliminary budget calls for total revenues of $202,039,171 and total expenditures of $203,640,131. In comparison to last year's final budget, revenues increased by $1,026,000, roughly half of 1%, and expenditures decreased by $487,812, which is a 12.6% decrease in expenditures compared to the prior year. This significant drop in expenditures is primarily due to the closeout of the referendum projects. Based on these assumptions, the preliminary tax rate is projected to decrease by 1 cent from $8.03 to $8.02 per $1,000 of equalized property or home valuation. In looking at the preliminary tax levy and tax rate information, it is important to keep in mind that the budgetary assumptions used to create the preliminary budget were based on the best available information when this version of the budget was approved to be brought forward to this hearing, which was done in early August, so several weeks old. And again, a flow of information will be forthcoming over the next month or so. And that concludes my summary.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. The public hearing this evening is the opportunity for the members of our school community to share their thoughts and provide input on the budget that has been presented. As mentioned earlier, the final budget and tax levy will be approved and adopted at our future meeting in October. Though tonight is the public's formal opportunity to provide input, I want to invite all the members of our school community to reach out to Mr. Clark, the district CFO, at any point in the budget development process to share their thoughts and insights. At this time, the board will receive comments from those wishing to speak to the budget issues this evening. A 3-minute time limit will be allotted to all speakers commenting on the budget. We expect the audience to be respectful of the speaker and the Board of Education and refrain from responding with verbal comments, cheering, applause, or other behavior that will detract from our meeting. Also, in order to respect our speakers and the meeting participants, please silence your phones at this time. I'm going to ask Mr. McCaffrey if you would please be our timekeeper. Thank you very much. And as of right now, we have one speaker. When you're ready, Mr. McCaffrey, Mr. Paul Reese, if you would join us.
Good evening. I just want to bring
Give
up,
me just one moment here, please. I apologize. We're going to get our timer set.
3?
3, yes.
it's on FNF or policy. I don't think I'll take 3 minutes, but
Go ahead.
I mean, on budget. So anyways, I want to bring up something I brought up in FNF meeting, and that is how much we spend a month on consultants, or a year rather, on consultants. We have 2 gentlemen in this room who have doctorate's degrees in what I would assume, because we pay them for it, in education. And yet when it comes to curriculum and instruction, we constantly rely on consultants. And we ask consultants on what their opinions are, and we pay a lot of money. I want to know how much money we pay, if we're paying a lot or not, or if they're doing their job and they're setting our curriculum instruction for us, or if they're relying on what a consultant has to say, and I have to pay twice for something, and so that they can fall back and, well, the consultants told us this. Well, you have doctorate's degrees and you're smart men, and I think you can do your job. So that's what I wanted to bring up, and because of what happened this summer, I would just want to bring quite a bit about how much we're spending on consultants. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board regarding the budget? Anyone else? In the public? No, not at this time? All right, again, like we said, if there's any further comments or questions that you'd like to share, please do reach out to Mr. Clark. Just want to give it a last look over and make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right. Well, with that, thank you for taking the time to be here this evening for this portion of our meeting. We are adjourned.